What's up, everybody? It's Jordan Tremaine, back at it again with another book review. Cause I just keep reading books. Read books about this, read books about that. Doesn't really matter as long as it's interesting. And got an interesting one for you today. And the name of that book is The Myths of Happiness. Let me see if I got that right. Yeah. Alright, so I'm probably gonna mispronounce this last name, but it's by Sonja Lyubomirsky. And my, reading impediments aside, I thought this book was dope. I listened to it on an audiobook. I think there's certain type of books that you should read with your eyes. So especially books with pictures, you should read with your eyes so you can see the pictures. You can't really listen to pictures too good. And textbooks, like really complicated things where you may have to go back and read the same sentence a couple of times. I'm really into reading with your eyes. But stuff that's like more easy listening, not necessarily like dumbed down, but it's explained in a plain way or an easy to understand way, or it's a storybook like Pinocchio or Alice in Wonderland or something like that. I like listening. And so I listened to the book on audio. I thought it was good audio experience. And if you like audiobooks or if you never tried an audiobook, this would be a good one to try out. So the book is called The Myths of Happiness. And I mean, already the title is like an eye catcher, or, like, oh, what's that? What's that about? And that's basically why I, looked into it, because I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna read that. And then I got into it. I was not disappointed. It was what it said it was, and it did it in a really good way. So Sonja, the author, she's going through all these different like mental traps. So there's a book before that I did a book review on, and it was talking about mental traps and stuff, and I'll put the description in the description section because I forgot what the name of that book is. But Sway. The book Sway, it talks about different mental traps, and I think this book is also talking about different mental traps. Sway is talking about one type, and I think this is talking about a different type. But what I really thought was super cool about this book is, from my perspective, me, the reader perspective, as I'm listening, or the listener's perspective, because I did an audiobook, a lot of the things that Sonja is saying have the potential to make people unhappy. I think is valid. I think a lot of people take these different things like my relationship isn't going well, I'm getting old, my health is bad. There's different things that people like to take and use as a reason to be unhappy. And what I really liked about the information that was put forth in the book was like, those things don't make you unhappy. You decide that those things make you unhappy. You have this myth in your head, you have this story, this narrative in your head that says, I can only be happy when I'm in a good relationship, when I'm financially stable, when, all the stars align and stuff. And you've told yourself that story, and since your reality doesn't match up to it, you're unhappy. But in this book, rather than trying to like brute force yourself to be happy, or trying to like, have mental issues or something like that, I think what Sonja is suggesting is like, just change the story. Decide to be happy. Just be like, it doesn't matter what my financial situation is. Even if you want your financial situation to be better, I don't know why that was a tongue twister, but whatever it is right now does not have to cause you unhappiness. You can say like, all right, this is what it is. This is what I'm moving towards, rather than like, oh, boo, I'm stuck in this situation. And it's more about paradigm shifting. And to me, this was so like, if you've seen the first Matrix movie, in the fourth one, the story kind of fell off and it kind of got more and more ridiculous as the franchise went on, even though the movies are decent. But the first movie, which, whoa, that movie was crazy. The premise was everybody was like linked up to this Matrix. They were all put in this virtual world and they didn't know they were in this virtual world. But then Morpheus pulls Neo out, and then Neo, he gains this ability to change the story. He gains the ability to change the narrative or change his mind. Like, bullets don't work like that. I want bullets to work like this. And so he's able to dodge bullets and make them not move. He's like, you know what? I'm going to fly. I'm going to change the story. I'm allowed to fly. And he makes these decisions and his life changes and he becomes the chosen one because he's restructured the myth in his head. And I think that's one way of looking at the Matrix. And I think this is like kind of the same thing, where the way that you tell yourself a story, the way you tell yourself what reality is or what you should or what you shouldn't do, has a lot to do with how you experience reality. And what the author here, I think, is saying is she's going through these different points, these different things that could potentially cause you a lot of unhappiness, but really taking a step back to like think and say like, you know, why am I forcing myself to be unhappy? Can I tell myself a better story? Can I look at things a different way? Or can I even look at the concept of happiness in a different way to make myself less miserable? And so there's that. And then like inside of the context of looking at happiness in a different way, maybe not like fetishizing happiness and saying it's the only thing that matters, and if I'm not super happy all the time, then it's terrible. And looking at happiness in a more realistic way, where it's like candy, where it's nice, it tastes good, but you can't eat it all the time. Trying to eat candy all the time is just gonna stress you out, give you a stomach ache, make your cholesterol. All these problems go with trying to chase candy all the time. And candy's not a bad thing. And I think kind of there's another kind of subplot in this book, even though it's not a storybook, about like, how do you even look at happiness in general? Are you chasing it like you're trying to eat happiness every day? You're trying to eat candy every day? Or is it something that's good that you enjoy when it comes and you look for more, but you're not like, oh my gosh, I need to gorge on happiness all the time or it's going to be terrible? Being more realistic, being able to accept things for what they are, looking at things from different perspectives, and allowing yourself to tell yourself a story that makes it okay for you to be what you are right now. It's not always about, oh, this is terrible. If only I could escape this, I would be good. If only I could get more money, I would be good. If only I could get a good relationship, I'd be good. If only I could, I don't know, become healthier, I'd be good. Like you could be good mentally now. You can experience happiness right now. And I think this book does a really good job of helping people, especially people that are stuck in some of these ruts that she's talking about, to get out of that rut and go do something else with your mind. So I highly recommend this book. Listening was pretty easy. I would listen to it like I go on a walk every day at lunch, and I just do it. I listen to it for like 30 minutes every day. So it's pretty easy listening. I enjoyed it a lot. It did help me kind of reframe different things, because when people say something to you, even if you've heard it before, but somebody uses different words, or it's at a different point in your life where you've had different experiences and stuff, it can often be helpful to hear the same message in different ways or at different times. And I think this book is good, especially for Americans or United Statesans, because happiness seems to be very important for people who live in the United States. So maybe like how I was talking about in the book review I did on the Symposium by Plato, which I'll put a description in the link or whatever, a link in the description. I said that backwards. The Symposium is talking about all these different ways that love exists, or different people's ideas of love, and being able to talk about these different ideas helps us experience love in a deeper way. And being able to dig into happiness, I think it helps us experience happiness in a deeper way. And so even though this book, unlike the Symposium, is not a conversation between characters, this book is kind of like a self-help book where it's like just telling you stuff and giving you examples. I think it does allow you to think about this idea of happiness in different ways, and how we get it, why we should get it, should we even want it. And some of these ideas can be scary to people. Oh, if I think about that, then I'll become depressed, or all this stuff. And maybe that's true. I don't know if that's true for you. It wasn't true for me. I feel like this book did a good thing for me. So, but I can see, depending on where your mental space is, it might like give you anxiety or something like that. But the book, the myths, I always say myth, but it's plural. The myths of happiness, I think is great. And then it has this subtext. I don't know if you saw it when I was showing the book. The main title is called The Myths of Happiness, and the subtitle is What Should Make You Happy But Doesn't, and What Shouldn't Make You Happy But Does. And I really like that, because in a lot of the examples, It shows what like conventionally people are like, oh, this is gonna make me happy, let me chase that. But it doesn't. Like money. Everybody thinks money is gonna make them happy. And to an extent, money does buy happiness, because money buys food, money buys shelter, money buys security. Like money buys important things. So I'm not saying money doesn't buy happiness. Like food is great if you're hungry and you got some money, you buy food, good. But after a certain point, more money doesn't bring more happiness. But a lot of people, they think, oh, if I get more money, I'll be happier. And then they go and they go and they go. And then even if they get all that money, they're like, well, why am I not any happier? I got money. I thought that was going to bring me happy. They think it will bring them happiness, but it doesn't. And then there's other things like discipline or consistency or honesty that don't feel good, that don't really feel like they're going to lead you to happiness, but you do it on a consistent basis. And for whatever reason, on a daily basis, on average, you're more happy. It's weird. So I really like that subtitle. It speaks a lot to kind of the context and the way that the ideas are presented inside of the book. So the title, subtitle, excellent. And I recommend this book. It's good. Yeah. So this has been Jordan Tremaine with another book review. Today we're book reviewing The Myths of Happiness. What should make you happy but doesn't, and what you don't think will make you happy but really will. That's like a really bad paraphrasing of this right here. By Sonja. Lyubomirsky. Boom. Yeah, it's a good book. If you have other books like this, I really like digging into like certain words, especially words that are really important to everybody, like love and happiness and democracy. Like, what do those words mean? Let's look at them differently and stuff. Put it in the comments. Let me know. There's been plenty of cases where somebody suggested a book on this channel, and I've read it and done a review. It's been good. So if you like it, if you have other suggestions and stuff, let me know. If you like this channel or you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. But for now, I'm gonna turn this camera off because I'm done with my job for today of making this video. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.